Okay, it appears we are live and it's early. So, more than likely, a lot of you guys probably guys for that. I know I missed last week. Schedule kind of crazy, and the realize I I have videos that I want to upload, or actually, I need to film. I have video ideas. I have some really good stuff. I just thing. I've been putting YouTube a little bit on the back burner. I have some videos. Bobby, hey, how's it going, man? Good to see you here. I hope everybody's weekend has been good. I hope their Sunday is good. I know here in Louisiana, the temperature's warming back up. So if you hear in the background the whirring of the air conditioner, just know it's for a good cause, and that cause is to keep me from sweating profusely. So again, like I said, I have things prepared for videos that I need to film. Several videos, troubleshooting videos, informational videos. I've got one that I really want to do on different aftermarket trigger bars, uh, because that's a really good one. I'd like to get that information out there. Glock 43 triggers. That's another video I need to make. And then the other thing that I have is videos on different builds that I've done and have come in the shop, do some deep dives, kind of like we did with the Boomerang 17L. That's a fun one. The OZ9 that Sapper Tactical did, um, Pontoon 22. I know. Isn't that some? I believe it's 21, 22. I have to admit, I didn't look exactly. I believe the birthday stream that I did was Pontoon 21. So this should be 22 or 23, somewhere around in there. I know unbelievable to me that here we are 22 streams in and I still suck. Um, eventually. So, anyways, like I said, I've got videos coming up. Let's go over a few things though, because things have since the last stream, I've had some stuff come in, some really good stuff. You guys, if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen all of these builds already and these pieces and parts. But if you haven't, or let's see them in real life. So as it is, let's get things going. This is the 001. A lot of internet hate over the size of the 19, the longer grip versus the shorter slide. I always liked that idea. I really have wanted. Same with the Glock 45. I just built so many 19s. It's just an easier frame to get a hold of. So when Jason and I talked about doing a collaboration build, I wanted to do either a 45 or a 19X as the first run of this build. And as soon as I saw what they did with this thing, I said, I really need 001. Let me buy 001. I want to get a hold of that one. It's got my name on it. I really want to be a part of that. I want to have part of this collaboration. So I went ahead and I bought 001, and I am extremely glad that I did, because this thing is amazing. I've worked with United Firearms in the past, or United R&D in the past. I have a couple of their slides, and this follows along the tradition of the type of cuts that they do. And I don't have it in here. I should have brought the sketchy slide. Just the way that they do their slide milling, they've got an evolution, and this is part of that evolution. It's just really similar, and I love it. I love their style. I love their design. Of course, you've got their logo here. When we decided to do this, I love some of the race style builds, but I said, if we're going to put my name on, I want to do something that is more, EDC, duty friendly, if you will. So let's leave out the windows. I love windows on slides. I love all that stuff. But I said, for the Tactical Pontoon series, let's do something. Let's take your Titan slide and let's get rid of the windows. Let's add some more serrations, something that is grippy no matter where you grab a hold of it. We talked about different optics. We talked about Trijicon. But you know me, if you guys have been around long enough, you know that I'm not a big fan of the mounting options for the Trijicon Swamp Fox way that they use screws. I said, and he brought up the 509, and I was like, you know what? That's a closed emitter. It's got the style of mounting that I prefer. My new preferred mounting. So I said, let's go with that. Let's put that on there. And I'm glad we did. I'm extremely glad we went that route versus just traditional Trijicon. So I got to say, I am in love with this thing. I love the way this thing came out. I will be doing a full video on this guy so you guys can see it up close. Again, if you're on Instagram, you've probably seen some really up close pictures of this guy, and more to come on it. I'm extremely glad that we got a chance to do this. Really am. The grip work is great. I know it's kind of a weird for some people. That was probably the one gripe I heard, was just the odd color of the peanut butter with the OD green. But personally, I really like that. I like that. I'm an OD green fan, but I also like the FD. So I like the way this thing came out. This guy is going to it's going to get carried. It's going to go along with me. I plan on beating the crap out of this. What trigger did we go with? That is the Peacemaker 4.0 system. I wanted something that was a drop-in system for this guy, and the Peacemaker 4.0, I will be doing a video directly on this. I've been busy. I do a lot of dry firing, obviously. I do a ton of dry firing. I dry fire your triggers before they go they ship out, and different triggers as I'm going through different things. So anyways, this guy I'm extremely excited about. I look forward to beating the crap out of it, carrying it around with me, and eventually sending it back for Cerakote again, because I know I'm going to wear this thing out. A lot of fun. So there will be a video on that. A big shout out to United Firearms, United R&D. Those guys, if you haven't checked them out yet, you should. They've got a passion for it. They've got some really good designs, and I'm told that the sketchy slide will come back into production eventually as a limited. The reason why it's not currently on the website is just the amount of work that they have built up and how long that slide takes to build. So the sketchy slide, I know a lot of people ask about it. It may come back. It's supposed to come back, but it will be in limited numbers. Maybe we'll do a limited tactical pontoon run. I'm not sure, but it does take a lot of machining to get right. It's not a cheap one in any way, shape, or form. So, definitely check them out if you haven't already. United Firearms. Tell them James sent you at Tactical Pontoon. I don't think it's going to get you in a discount. If anything, they may charge you more just because of having to deal with me. Okay, next one up. Got another build in the shop. This one came in. This one I sent out a while back, and it's based on an SCT frame. Again, if you're on my Instagram, because I'm an Instagram influencer like that. You've probably already seen this one. This came back from Unicorn Customs. Casey out there, he took this thing on, and I gotta say, boom, this bad boy with the Desert Storm camo, chocolate chip camo, is just a beast. Okay, he did an amazing job on the Cerakote and the stipple for this SCT frame, which we've talked about the SCT frame. I've got a video on the SCT frame. I really, for an aftermarket Glock 19 frame, I do love the SCT. It brings back a lot of the different things that the Strike Industries did with their frame. Few little differences, but overall it's kind of a copy, if you will. I mean, you set them, side by side, it's extremely obvious that they at least took influence from the Strike 80. But me being lazy meant I don't have to drill holes in it myself. It's already done. Big fan of that. Really nice rails that they put in these things. Again, we can watch the video on SCT frame. I really like it. So when I sent this guy off to Casey out at Unicorn Customs, I said, have at it. And he did. The wow. I love this camo. I am extremely excited to see more builds getting this. I grew up in the age when Desert Storm was going on. I had an uncle that was over there. He brought back all of his BDUs, well, some of his BDUs, and gave them to me. And it wasn't unusual for me to wear them to school. So I was the little weird kid wearing the BDUs at school, and I was too fat for them, to be honest. And they were obviously, he was taller than I was. Everybody's taller than I was. And so I was the little fat kid wearing BDUs that were too small for me, but I was just so excited to wear them. And this brings back those memories of just that Desert Storm camo. Beautiful. He did an amazing job on the Cerakote. There are plenty of pictures of this guy on my Instagram, and I will be doing a deep dive video on this thing. I'm excited about this one. Being able to work with some of the most talented guys out there, just it's exciting. And for me to share this with you and send you their way if you want some work done. And this one's fun. You've got a Zafiri slide up top. You've got a Tactical Pontoon barrel. Maybe I'll do another run of those barrels. We'll see. If the excitement's there, maybe we'll do a run of those guys. We'll see. Zafiri slide, Swamp Fox Liberty optic, the SCT frame like we talked about before. And then trigger-wise, what did I go with? I went with a Peacemaker Leonidas built for the SCT frame. And it is just an absolute pleasure. Again, with the United build, I wanted something that was more duty oriented. So you do have the Peacemaker 4.0, which itself is set up very, very nicely. A little bit longer reset, pretty close to the wall. I've up very, very nicely. A little bit longer reset, pretty close to the wall. Obviously, with the Peacemaker wall, and that reset is tuned range toy build. Of course, with the Leonidas, it is set up so that you do have all of your safeties. So if you wanted to carry a Leonidas, you could do so. The safeties are there. I make sure of that because I've been down that road and I'm not going there again. I make sure that the safety is there. Just keep your finger off the trigger. Other than that, boomerang it. It's good. So that's this guy. Beautiful gun. Beautiful build. Casey at Unicorn Customs. Check him out. He is a good dude. He does amazing work. And I can't thank him enough for bringing back something from my childhood with the chocolate chip cookie camo. Speaking of him, speaking of Unicorn Customs and kind of along that line, I'll get to some other stuff, but the Glock performance triggers seem to be back on the market. They changed something. They changed the packaging. Okay. I've got a couple new ones here in the shop. They're being worked. I've got 2 available on the website to be built. So if you want one of the new Glock performance triggers that's been pontoonized, they're on the website. There's 2 spots right now available. Maybe we'll do more. It's going to depend on the availability of these triggers. I think, and I haven't heard anything otherwise or to tell me that I'm right or wrong. This is just take it with a grain of salt type thing. I think they ran into some issues with the initial run just of people not understanding what they had. This is the new package right here. It has a new description. It says that the trigger weight is 4 pounds. It also says that it doesn't meet NIJ standard for law enforcement use. And it also comes with a neat little guide for oiling the trigger. That was not present in the original package. I kept the original package just because I've got a couple of them. It's one of those weird things. I probably should have thrown it away, but I'm glad I didn't. On the original package, it does not specify a weight. This one specifies 4 pounds. Now, I haven't put a gauge on the new ones. All the components look to be the same. The spring appears to be the same. The trigger return spring appears to be the same. I changed those with mine because there's, to get it up to my standards, to get it up. Sorry about that. To get it to my standards, I do change some things when it comes to that. But I think the reason why we saw these off the market for so long, and we'll see. I'm going to keep an eye on it and order more in as time goes on. But I believe they just went through some changes in packaging and try to teach people how different these are versus the original. That's my guess. So we'll see how available these are. Again, I've got 2 spots open on the website for the Glock Performance Trigger. I'll be sending notifications out for on the newsletter just to let people know they're available again, possibly for a limited time. They take a lot of work. They really do. I have to pull them all the way apart. It's a different style system. There are more moving parts. There's more of a complicated process to the work. So adding in the added expense of the trigger, changing the trigger shoe, it does get up there in the Leonidas price range. So they're not cheap. They're nice. They have a different feel to them with the style of break versus the old style. I still, I'm still a fan of the old school style Glock triggers. I've got them running really nice. So for me, I'm still a fan of the original, but for some of you guys, the Glock Performance Trigger is the way to go. You probably can overall get it lighter than a standard Glock trigger. So for somebody, that might be the right option. And that brings me on to, I will be doing a custom one-off as of now, maybe, and it's not, again, like I said, it just comes down to price, because there is extra work that needs to be done. And then to throw a Leonidas type system onto the Glock Performance Trigger, I don't want to price myself out of the market. But I will be doing one for Casey at Unicorn Customs, because he just knocked this thing out of the box. We talked about it. He wanted to do a Glock Performance Trigger, and I said, why don't you be the guy who runs the first Leonidas Glock Performance Trigger? So he's got something coming his way. I will be building that up as I'll get you guys some videos, and we'll maybe I'll do an actual video on the channel once it's done. But he's got one coming. Will it be a normal thing? Probably not. Again, probably not. But if it's something you're really, really interested in, we can talk about it once I get the first one done. So 2 spots available for the standard pontoonized Glock Performance Trigger. They should come out to be about a 2 pound, 2.5 pound break, probably lower to be honest. And 2 spots for those guys. They're running right about $325. So it's not cheap, but for the person that wants the Glock Performance Trigger with tactical pontoon work, it's going to be beautiful. Again, Leonidas, it's hard to beat just a standard Leonidas, which, if you can call a Leonidas standard, it ruins a lot of people. It ruins a lot of people, because once they've experienced the Leonidas, it's hard to go back to something else. Even I myself, I have trouble going back to anything other than the Leonidas, but I still enjoy the others. Got my pink drink here. Starburst C4. Okay, what else do we have to talk about? Okay, another build that has come down the line is, remember when we had Marconi Armory, that slide in the the owner of Marconi Armory gave you guys some discounts. If you keep an eye on his Instagram, he normally runs some really good sales and package deals. I think right now he's got with a 40 Smith, if you want a 40 Smith & Wesson slide, I think he's got a package deal with a Swamp Fox optic for like 280 or something. That's a heck of a deal. So if you're on his Instagram, keep an eye out. He normally runs some good package sales. So it's a really neat slide. The reason I bring it up is because it has come back from Cerakote. Sapper Tactical Creations, who did the OZ9, he is the guy who did the Cerakote on this, which I'll show you here shortly. And then it is going off to Piccoli Gunworks. Once he gets his FFL transferred, he is going to be doing the framework on this. So it's kind of a full-on collaboration build. And here we go. Boom. Look at this camo. Look at this dark camo. I saw this on his Instagram. He had done a slide for somebody, and I said, let's do that. We had talked about something simple, just kind of black or gray or something. But when I saw this camo, I said, that's what we need to do. So we did the entire build in this camo. It's kind of an urban dark camo. And I think the it works. It works really well. This SCT frame has some really sharp lines to it, and that matches up with the Marconi slide just really, really well. And then you throw that camo on it. It's just a beautiful, beautiful combination. I cannot wait to see this thing done. The grip work, I know Piccoli Gunworks is gonna knock it out of the park. And you combine all of this together, you are talking about just a beautiful, mean looking build. Marconi Armory on the slide. Check them out on Instagram. Piccoli Gunworks, he will be doing the framework, and then of course the master of Cerakote, Clint at Sapper Tactical. Look at that. That is just some beautiful Cerakote. That is just awesome. Once this guy comes back from framework, I will be doing I'll get it all installed and put together, and then we'll do a video up close of everything done at once. So that's this guy. Just another awesome build, working with some of the best out there. I love working with different guys, and just it's just awesome being able to work with some real true craftsmen. Another thing I get asked quite a bit is, on these SCT frames, what magwell am I using? Well, I'm going to be honest to start up. One, these are not meant for the SCT frame. There are some gaps. It's not a perfect fit. I don't know if we can see it on film here, but it's not a perfect fit. There's some gap just around the very bottom. It's not really noticeable. It works really well. I'm going to add some of these guys to the website so that if you have an SCT frame, and what I will do is I will take some detailed photos so that you can see kind of where the match isn't exact. And I will be adding these to the website. There'll be a variety of colors: black, red, probably a silver. And then maybe we can do some custom etching on them. So that if you have an SCT build and you want a magwell on it, you'll be able to make that happen. So that'll be something coming along before too terribly long, as long as I can keep on task. It stays busy. I'm gonna admit, it does stay busy here. Yes, Sapper does some really, really amazing work. Okay, one last thing to show on the show and tell. Like I said, I've had a lot of stuff come in, And because I'm kind of a loser when it comes to YouTube these last couple weeks, I haven't kept up to date. So again, follow me on Instagram. That's where I update. It's quicker for me to update something on Instagram than it is for a full YouTube video. But I'm working on getting back into the YouTube swing. It some days are harder than others, and when it comes to that, I get the want to come and film a video, and then sometimes I'll get interrupted, or I just it takes a decent amount to do a video out of me. I'm not the biggest talker in the world, and sometimes because I want to get everything done correctly in the video, especially like a top down video or something like that, I'll put it off because in my mind I think, oh well, there's other information. Let me make sure that I get that on the video, and I don't babble. Anyways, I will get back to the YouTube thing. Promise you that. Got some good stuff. Like I talked about at the beginning of the video, trigger bars, aftermarket trigger bars. There's some really interesting information there that I really would like to get out in public, so that when you are making a decision for something you're building for yourself, or why you might choose Tactical Pontoon to build you an entire system instead of trying to piece them together, why you would want to do that. And it will also look at a factory trigger bar in relation to some of the aftermarket ones. So I just recently ran into an issue with a supplier when I ordered some trigger bars, that they sent me an entirely different trigger bar that at first glance looked like there was only one difference. However, when you measure it up and when you try to utilize it, because of the metallurgy, that's the right word, of the material, you would get an extra springiness that just could be tuned out, but you had to tune it. You had to take the extra steps to actually tune that thing correctly, instead of just being able to drop it in. Now granted, to get the most out of a trigger system, a drop-in trigger system, it's best to tune it. But if you start with an inferior product, excuse me here, pardon, if you start with an inferior product, then you have to tune it. You're just not going to get everything out of it. You're going to get something that feels decent in the end, but it's not everything it could be. So I found that these trigger bars could be tuned to be decent, but right out of the box, it just was an inferior product. And so I had to get with them and I'm like, guys, I need the correct part. These aren't it. Because I'm not going to saddle you. I'm not going to saddle you guys with this. I'm not going to saddle myself with extra work. And hey, Thomas, good to have you here. Good to see you. I hope your Sunday is good. Join in. If you have any questions, just hit me up. I try to bring the knowledge as it is, but trigger bars, there's a lot of aftermarket trigger bars on the market now, something that we didn't have back in 2018, 2019. And really that came down to supply and demand, because factory trigger bars became a very high price commodity. They're becoming a bit more available, but it's not like it was. You used to be able to buy, it was easy to buy a bag of 100 of those trigger bars. They were available. You could buy them any day, every day. Now it's kind of hit or miss. They're becoming more available. Gen 5 is still kind of hit or miss. Glock 43, very hit or miss. The 10 millimeter and 45 caliber bars becoming probably right along the line of Gen 5. It's hit or miss. Gen 3, it's getting there, but it's not like it could be. And there are some aftermarket options that do have benefits. So I will be doing a video on that. I want to show you guys some stuff, some good stuff. I'll have a dagger trigger bar, not a bad trigger bar. It's an option. SCT has a trigger bar. There are benefits and there are downsides to that trigger bar. It's not one that I'm really going to tell many people to go after. There's this Taiwanese trigger bar that I kind of touched on. You'll find it on some of your eBay triggers that have the adjustable screws in the face. That one, again, not one that I really recommend. And I'll try to grab a hold of a P80 bar. I may just go ahead and order one today. Maybe I can get that in. Kind of an iffy trigger bar. It works. It's kind of it's one of those ones that I would recommend if you just want to throw a trigger bar, you want to throw a P80 together and then throw that P80 in a, your tactical survival box. Use at last discretion. Want to make sure it works. Don't care how the trigger is. Probably one P80 would be okay. Another one, I think I've got one of the old Ghost. They didn't talk about them very much, but some of the suppliers could get a hold of them, and that was a Ghost trigger bar. Ghost made a trigger bar. I don't know if they still do. There were some issues with those. Again, there was a big shortage of trigger bars as 2019 and 2020 kind of rolled around. So I've seen the market kind of catch up. There are good ones on the market now. There are not some so good ones. So I'd like to do a video on that. Show you guys some of the differences between them. Kind of like connectors. Connectors used to be a big thing. It's still a big thing. But trigger bars, now that we've got so many different options, we should probably talk about them. Okay, another thing. Zero Delta. They finally sent me the one. Now, I made a mistake on my last stream, and I said it was the aluminum frame. It is not. That was the old Zero Delta Modulus. This is the Zero Delta 1. Okay. The difference is the 1, not Neo, is made of polymer. The Modulus was aluminum. So I made a mistake. I misspoke. And it was kind of funny when I opened the package and realized that I was wrong. So I expected it to be aluminum. It is polymer. Really not a bad thing on this frame. If I was to just tell you off the top of my head, should you buy this? If you are absolutely set on having something that is modular, yes. This thing is modular like nobody's business. I have not put a trigger in this yet. I've not built this up yet. I have truly been too busy to do so. This will get a video on itself. I will be doing some testing with it, but as of yet, I have not. We can just talk about it real quickly. It's kind of neat. It is, in its own way, kind of neat, being that it is so modular and you can build. You can't do a 26X. When I first saw it, I thought, oh, that's what I want to do. I'm going to do a 26X, but without some major modifications to, say, for example, the locking block. And I think it's just the locking block. I can't do a 26X. I thought maybe when I first saw it, I was like, oh, shit, I can do my 26X. But no. You can do like your 19 with a 34 slide. I don't think I've not seen a Generation 5 Glock 17L, which I'm sure somebody wants to do something like that with a Glock 19. Matt Benoit at PSA would joke you could just take it off and then run a ported barrel, ported slide so that all your gas goes down instead of blowing your dust cover off. It's got the option for those of you. It's gimmicky, not gonna lie, but at the same time, it's kind of neat. There's a panel for taking the finger. You can have your finger grooves, or you can take a panel and take your finger grooves off. You've got your beaver tail. They've got an extended beaver tail option, a standard beaver tail. Like I said, it's one of those things that if you were absolutely against sending your gun out for work framework and you wanted the different modular kits, it's a bit gimmicky. I'm not, it's neat. We all like Legos, so I get that. The crazy part of it is well, one of the crazy parts that I thought was interesting. This is the competition magwell. This thing is monstrous. I mean, just let me see if I can real quick. I'll put it on the frame here. Make sure I don't need a screwdriver. Didn't bring one with me. See if my man fingernail will work to get this screw out. Let's see, still need some more. Give me a moment. This looks kind of funky. This magwell, this competition magwell, turns it into a 17 grip length and just a competition, if you will, style magwell. Come on, you can do it, James. Don't want to break it. Don't want to break it. Let's see. What do I have? What happens is the screw gets kind of locked in the grip. This is not. I'm getting a screwdriver on camera. Well, you guys see how fat I am. Oh, come on. Okay, right back. Ooh, okay, I'm back. Okay. Whistle while you work, right? Here we go. Boom. That is kind of funky. Now, granted, you cannot. It's proprietary, so you're not going to be able to just throw a different magwell from a different frame on here. If you want a magwell, that's what you're living with. Now, granted, you could take a Dremel to it and kind of narrow it down some, but that is a monster of a competition magwell. I'm sure you couldn't miss. I mean, I'm sure I could miss, but that's what she said. I've been watching too much of The Office lately. Sorry, not sorry. So that's it. It's a neat frame. You could make yourself a competition 19X. I will say it is pretty gimmicky overall to be, the reality of all of this. This is where all the cool, no, I don't think the cool kids hang out here. There are a lot cooler people than me. Way cooler. Anyways, it's on there. I'm just gonna set it aside. But the 1X or the one, I'm gonna pick it back up again. The 1x0 Delta, it took 9 months. I was on a waiting list and they actually removed it from the website there for a while. And I thought, okay, well, my fee just kind of disappeared. And then while I was on vacation, I got a phone call from them saying, hey, we are ready to ship your frame, pay up the remainder, and here you go. So it took 9 months. 9 months ago, I got on a waiting list, and I thought for a while that it just disappeared because they took that option off the website, and then it came back. So we got a chance to take a look at it. I will do an actual video on this guy. I'm going to put together a build with it. do some trigger testing. I don't foresee doing any dedicated. We'll see. If somebody asks me to do a dedicated trigger for one of these, let's say a Leonidas, I'll get my measurements. We'll see about it being a possibility. But yeah, it's a neat frame. It's a neat idea. I will give them props for that. The polymer seems to be molded well. It fits decently in the hand. I do have kind of a medium-sized girl's hand, so for me, it's probably just a little big. If you have normal-sized hands, man hands, it would probably be perfect for you. I could I could see somebody with big hands, kind of like Honest Outlaw. I could see this being perfect for him. I'll have to get a hold of him, see if he's done a review on these. Maybe I'll build a trigger for him on that. But so yeah, that's the 0 or the 1x0 Delta. It's a neat gimmick. It's neat. I gotta say, I do like the aspects of being able to build it out, transform it, if you will. Uses Generation 5 components so that you can use Glock 19, Glock 17, and 34 components. But basically, Generation 5 is all based around the Glock 19. So that's where that comes in, why you would want Generation 5 components. So, Glock 19. It's neat. Longevity, it seems well constructed. Obviously, the more moving parts you have, the more chances of failure in the long run. So this is probably something that you're not going to want to take to Siberia when you're attacking kangaroos in a global battle zone. But if you're just LARPing and you just want something fun for the range, maybe even carry, it's an option, I guess. But like I said, I need to do more looking at it. But when it comes down to it, more moving parts, more problems. That's just the way it's the reality of it. It's neat. And that's the same thing, I believe, when it comes to triggers. The Glock basic trigger design is beautiful in the fact that the amount of moving parts, there's very few of them, and they're very simple. You start getting into, let's say, even the Glock performance trigger, there's more moving parts. There's actually more failure points to it. But then again, it really comes down to how you use it. Keep things, you do your maintenance, check things out. They'll be fine. But, more moving parts, more places for failure. It's just me kind of rambling when it comes down to that. So that's kind of what's been going on. Got some good stuff coming down the pipe when it comes to more builds, videos. I've got another build. We talked briefly about it with a Nomad frame, the Gunco slide that will be going to Nevada Cerakote. I still need to get a hold of them to finish getting things ready for that build. It's been busy here in the shop. A lot of CR920 triggers. I will say, ever since I did those videos and people have started getting triggers for their CR920, the word is getting out. I have built a ton of CR920 triggers, which is great. I am extremely excited that the word is getting again, because that CR920 is a beautiful, it's really well put together, but they saddled it with such a poor trigger that I give up. But I about the CR920. So the word's getting out there. I appreciate everybody who spread the good word, who's put some good words out on social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Reddit. I'm not on Reddit. I hear that there's a lot of talk on Reddit. I've got enough social media accounts at this point. YouTube, If you've done a video on YouTube for any of my triggers, I appreciate that. Link me to them. If you've done a video on anything, feel free to send me a link. Maybe I can leave a comment or something. Um, you know, getting a good word out there is very much appreciated. It's very much needed. Tactical Pontoon is still a not very well known name still. Oh, because I'm kind of the secret, the well kept secret. Word is getting out, but get a chance. Let people know if you have gotten a trigger and you haven't left a review on the website. Just take a moment, go to the website, go to the trigger system that you bought. You go down to the reviews. There's a spot where you can put your name and put your little leave a quick review. That helps out, gives people a chance to see that other people have tried it out. Other than I've got videos on YouTube and word of mouth. But if you get a chance, leave a review on the website. That would be great. Another sticker design is coming. We all know the Tactical Pontoon has the best sticker game in the business. I've got another sticker coming. I finally got a shipping notification on it, so that should be here this coming week. Another sticker design, which just gives you another reason to buy another trigger or buy something. I tend to send out stickers with each and every order. Working on another sticker design. If you come up with a design, and you have to remember, the Trigger Jedi sticker was actually the idea came from here on Swimming with the Pontoon. And if you're here, you know who you are. He came up with the trigger. He threw the trigger Jedi thing out there, and I ran with it, and it's been fun. And so we've done quite a few. We've got the Thanos sticker. We've got the one of my favorites, Better Call Pontoon sticker. And then there's the new one. And I've got another design in mind. But if you've got one, send it out. Send it to me. Shoot me an email. So yeah. Anyways, that is going to kind of wrap it up for today on Swimming with the Pontoon. I know it's not the full hour, but I think we had a pretty good little talk, little discussion. I will be doing more videos in time. I'm gonna try to get another one out this week or this coming week. And then I also would like to go over the Glock performance trigger, maybe some of the changes. Keep an eye on Instagram. That's where you're going to find a lot of the updates and a lot of pictures as things are going on. And then, of course, the newsletter. If you haven't signed up to the newsletter, that is where at least once a week I send out maybe a code or the best deals that I've got going on, or news about new trigger systems. I know for the Glock 10 millimeter and 45 crowd, the hammer system has kind of opened up a low price option versus what I used to do with the Excommunicado. I've been able to do that for you guys with the 10 millimeters. And already kind of the redhead stepchild when it comes to the Glock world. Just there's not as many options, but I've got the best trigger system with the Pontoon. If you guys need anything, you know how to get a hold of me. You can also tactical_pontoon. There is the website, tacticalpontoon.com. Email address, pontoon@gmail. If you need anything, see on Tactical Pontoon. You guys have a good week, and I'll see you next time.